to have you mingling them around these tables here in the middle. Thank you so much.
Cup 2024, when the Prime Minister Cup first came about, I was representing Bradensil. The Prime Minister Cup, I think it matters to me because it's a semi-professional
I am Shanice Brewster Charles, brand manager of Dasani and Powerade at the Barbados Bottling Company. Our connection to the Prime Minister's Cup is through our partnership as the official hydration partner of the tournament. Our journey with the Prime Minister's Cup began from the very first tournament. When the vision and the purpose of the tournament were shared with us, we saw an opportunity to support an initiative with strong national relevance, deep community value, and the power to inspire both players and supporters. The Prime Minister's Cup matters because it reflects the best of sport and community. It gives footballers a stage to compete, supporters a reason to rally behind their teams, and communities a moment to come together in celebration. The Prime Minister's Cup energizes communities and shows young people that sport can be a pathway for growth, discipline, teamwork, and achievement. It also gives players the chance to earn money through their talent while bringing Barbadians together in a shared moment of national pride. This year, we are especially excited about the introduction of the female tournament, which creates greater opportunity and visibility for all.
My name is Sharon Hoyt. I'm a striker for Paradise FC in the Prime Minister Cup. 2024, when the Prime Minister Cup first came about, I was representing Barbados FC, and I got to the final on my first year. 2025, the second year of the cup, I was at Paradise FC. We came third. I finished with the most goals in the tournament and best striker, and I won 4 out of 7 Man of the Match awards and 1 Goal of the Match award. The Prime Minister Cup, I think it matters to me because it's a semi-professional tournament. You're actually getting paid to play football. The fans could come and watch for free, and there's special awards to be won, like Man of the Match and other individual awards. So I think that the Prime Minister Cup being a semi-professional tournament actually bring more excitement and more enjoyment and more motivation to players. In 2025, they had a lot of violence throughout the year, but there was no violence at the tournaments because everybody was able to come together as one and just enjoy the football.
Hi, my name is Julia Harewood. I am one of the vendors for the Prime Minister's Cup, and I'm also a villa chef at Young Estate. I am the owner of R&J's Catering, located in Marchfield, St. Philip. We love being with the Prime Minister's Cup because it's a very nice atmosphere. This year is going to be 3 years, but I was with them before it was called the Prime Minister Cup, so you know how long that is. Please do not calculate my age, but it brings everybody together. And it also gives the communities a lot of extra space, whereas they can evolve around what is going on and there is no kind of violence or whatever. Everybody's enjoying themselves, everybody have different opinions, and they just love to come and sit and watch their team do the best that they can.
Hey everyone, I'm Nathan McCollin, and this will be my first time actually participating in the Prime Minister Cup. I didn't get the chance to participate in the previous Prime Minister Cup because I was overseas playing soccer and studying. I'm excited to be part of it. The Prime Minister Cup is a great opportunity for our players to come together with their communities and show what we can do. For me personally, the Prime Minister Cup does matter because I'm hoping that while participating in such a tournament like this, that it can take me one step closer to my dream, which is representing Barbados at the national level. Football has opened so many doors for me, and I hope that the Prime Minister Cup continues to open so many doors for the young players across Barbados as well, and I'm so excited to be part of it. Thank you.
My name is Thielen Braffett, well known as T.I. or Mr. Armani. and I'm one of the biggest Prime Minister Cup fans. I was born playing football. My connection with the Prime Minister Cup is that I love football, and I was here from the time it was the Line Pelican to now. And it's just the best football in Barbados right now. It's get you to meet back up with your old friends that you're gonna know meet. It's just a good vibe whenever you go to the Prime Minister Cup. It's having a good effect on the youth, and more youth need to join more teams and make it better for years to come.
My name is Jamarco Johnson. I am a 16-year-old striker for Kickstart Rush, and we are playing in the Prime Minister Cup this year. I became involved in the Prime Minister Cup after joining Kickstart and playing youth football, and then getting promoted to the senior team. Played a couple Premier League games, was the youngest goal scorer in the Premier League. Prime Minister Cup came around, got a couple games, a couple minutes in, probably like 3 or 4 games. Last year, Prime Minister Cup was the starting striker. I had the most goals for the team, 5 goals, winning the Young Player of the tournament. I've been apart for two years, on to 3 years now. Prime Minister Cup matters to me because it's one of the only tournaments that has a professional environment, like in terms of being paid to play, and the incentive is just make the football way more competitive and better, and just motivate players to come out and motivate fans to come and support, and just make the football and the community much better and more organized and just a better overall experience. I would say Prime Minister Cup had a great impact on communities, bringing both youth and the older ages together to both play and support football in Barbados, and it brings a great joy to be outside playing, enjoying, watching and supporting the beautiful game.
I am Shanice Brewster Charles, brand manager of Dasani and Powerade at the Barbados Bottling Company. Our connection to the Prime Minister's Cup is through our partnership as the official hydration partner of the tournament. Our journey with the Prime Minister's Cup began from the very first tournament. When the vision and the purpose of the tournament were shared with us, we saw an opportunity to support an initiative with strong national relevance, deep community value, and the power to inspire both players and supporters. The Prime Minister's Cup matters because it reflects the best of sport and community. It gives footballers a stage to compete, supporters a reason to rally behind their teams, and communities a moment to come together in celebration. The Prime Minister's Cup energizes communities and shows young people that sport can be a pathway for growth, discipline, teamwork, and achievement. Shared moment of national pride. This year, we are especially excited about the introduction of the female tournament, which creates greater opportunity and visibility for all.
My name is Sharon Hoy. I'm a striker for Paradise FC in the Prime Minister Cup. 2024, when the Prime Minister Cup first came about, I was representing Barbados FC, and I got to the final on my first year. 2025, the second year of the Cup, I was at Paradise FC.
Yeah.
We came third. I finished with the most goals in the tournament as striker. I won 4 out of 7 Man of the Match awards and 1 Goal of the Match award. The Prime Minister Cup, I think it matters to me because it's a semi-professional tournament. You're actually getting paid to play football. The fans could come and watch for free, and there's special awards to be won, like Man of the Match and other individual awards. So I think that the Prime Minister Cup being a semi-professional tournament actually bring more excitement and more enjoyment and more motivation to players. In 2025, they had a lot of violence throughout the year, but there was no violence at the tournaments because everybody was able to come together as one and just enjoy the football.
Hi, my name is Julia Harewood. I am one of the vendors for the Prime Minister's Cup, and I'm also a villa chef at Young Estate. I am the owner of R&J's Catering, located in Marchfield, St. Philip. We love being with the Prime Minister's Cup because it's a very nice atmosphere. This year is going to be 3 years, but I was with them before it was called the Prime Minister Cup, so you know how long that is. Please do not calculate my age. But it brings everybody together, and it also gives the communities a lot of extra space, whereas they can evolve around what is going on, and there is no kind of violence or whatever. Everybody's enjoying themselves, everybody have different opinions, and they just love to come and sit and watch their team do the best that they can.
Hey everyone, I'm Nathan McCollin, and this will be my first time actually participating in the Prime Minister Cup. I didn't get the chance to participate in the previous Prime Minister Cup because I was overseas playing soccer and studying. I'm excited to be part of it. The Prime Minister Cup is a great opportunity for our players to come together with their communities and show what we can do. For me personally, the Prime Minister Cup does matter because I'm hoping that while participating in such a tournament like this, that it can take me one step closer to my dream, which is representing Barbados at the national level. Football has opened so many doors for me, and I hope that the Prime Minister Cup continues to open so many doors for the young players across Barbados as well, and I'm so excited to be part of it. Thank you.
My name is Thielen Bradford, well known as T.I. or Mr. Armani, and I'm one of the biggest Prime Minister Cup fans. I was born playing football. My connection with the Prime Minister Cup is that I love football, and I was here from the time it was the Line Pelican to now, and it's just the best football in Barbados right now. You get you to meet back up with your old friends that you can now meet. It's just a good vibe whenever you go to the Prime Minister Cup. It's having a good effect on the youth, and more youth need to join more teams and make it better for years to come.
My name is Jamarco Johnson. I am a 16-year-old striker for Kickstart Rush, and we are playing in the Prime Minister Cup this year. I became involved in the Prime Minister Cup after joining Kickstart and playing youth football, and then getting promoted to the senior team. Played a couple Premier League games, was the youngest goal scorer in the Premier League. Prime Minister Cup came around, got a couple games, a couple minutes in, probably like 3 or 4 games. Last year, Prime Minister Cup was the starting striker. Had the most goals for the team, 5 goals, winning the Young Player of the tournament. I've been apart for 2 years, on to 3 years now. Prime Minister Cup matters to me because it's one of the only tournaments that has a professional environment, in terms of.
be seated. Honorable Prime Minister, Mia Amor Motley. Minister of Sports and Community Empowerment, Charles Griffith. Minister of Youth and Culture, Senator Shane Archer. Minister of Industry, Innovation, Science and Technology, Senator Jonathan Reid. Minister of Education Transformation, Chad Blackman. Commissioner of Police, Sonia Boyce. Prime Minister's Cup Project Chair, Omari Eastman. CEO of National Agencies, Barbados Football Association Vice President, Captain Al Walcott. Sponsors, Prime Minister's Cup committees, respective board members, players, teams, officials, referees, champions of the Baiko Primary School football and the Arthur Smith Primary School members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the official launch of the Prime Minister's Cup 2026. I am Alex Jordan.
And I am Tahir Bobulia.
And we are delighted to be your co-hosts this afternoon for the third year of this real impactful competition. I miss it every year. I'm never in Barbados. And I'm always telling Tahir about those crowds, Tahir.
The crowds are amazing. The vibes, the energy, and most importantly, the impact Prime Minister's Cup has had on the development of football in Barbados, Alex. It has been tremendous.
Well, I think it's particularly timely that this launch falls smack dab in the middle of the FIFA World Cup, which got all of we necks lock off, right? Let's be honest. And it looks like the beautiful game is healing the world. It is so exciting.
Yeah, definitely so exciting. And we are looking forward to Prime Minister's Cup this year. 60 years of independence, 5 years as a republic, and 3 years of Prime Minister's Cup, AJ.
Incredibly symbolic. No doubt the Prime Minister will speak to this later, but the idea of us celebrating 60 years of independence and 5 years of a republic brings to mind these themes of self-determination, empowerment, self-confidence, self-belief, a firm identity and sense of self. And of course, sport develops all of those things, and the beautiful game particularly. Actually, the theme for this year's tournament is empowering communities, one goal at a time. The pun intended.
Yeah, one goal at a time. And you're talking about empowerment, and guess what, AJ? Guess what, Alex? This year is the first year we'll be having Women's Prime Minister's Cup football. So put your hands together for that. Empowerment. Women's Prime Minister's Cup for the first time in 2026.
I am very glad to hear that indeed. I know a lot of women were asking about that. Very much looking forward to seeing that competition, checking out the levels, and maybe dusting off my football boots next year. Yeah, right. Anyway, this afternoon, to give us an official welcome and to take first kick, I am happy to welcome on stage our first speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, can I ask you to drift forward instead of staying at the back of the room? Can I ask you to come forward to these blue tables so we have more of a crowd up front?
There's coaches here at the side as well. Come to the front, guys. Come to the front.
Make yourselves comfortable for our presentation. Taking first kick and having our first word to deliver our official welcome, I'm happy to welcome a youth leader, a real community man. He's the project coordinator and the liaison of the Prime Minister's Cup 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kimar Hines.
Protocol having been established, a warm good evening to everyone. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to this, the official launch and the third edition of the 2026 Prime Minister's Cup. Your presence here this evening is a testament to the growing belief that football in Barbados is more than just a game. It is a powerful platform for youth development, national pride, community building, and one of opportunity. This evening marks more than the beginning of another tournament. It marks the continuation of a vision that seeks to elevate Barbadian football even further, create meaningful opportunities for our young people, strengthen partnerships between government and the private sector, and to inspire the next generation of athletes to dream even bigger and to compete at the highest standard. And this year, it promises to be even bigger with the addition of the Women's Prime Minister's Cup. This year carries even greater significance as Barbados celebrates its 60th year of independence and its 5th year as a republic. These milestones remind us that nation building is not confined to Parliament and to boardrooms, but it also takes place on our playing fields, in our communities, and through collective efforts of those ordinary people who remain steadfast and committed to the development of our people. As our national anthem reminds us, it is upon these fields and hills beyond recall that we now call our very own, from which we now continue to write the next chapter of our nation's history. The Prime Minister's Cup has grown because of collaboration. Let us make no mistake. We therefore extend sincere appreciation to the government of Barbados, our sponsors, partners, and volunteers. Every individual whose commitment continues to transform this competition into one of the island's premier football events. This evening, you will hear from our leaders who have helped to shape this initiative, and you will also gain insight into what makes this year's tournament unique. And you will also experience the exciting vision we have prepared for you for the months ahead. We are confident that the 3rd edition will continue raising the standard of football administration, competition, and fan engagement, but above all, the community impact. And so to everyone here, thank you for believing in this vision and for investing your time, resources, and above all, passion in this continued development of our Barbadian football. Once again, welcome to the official launch of the 2026 Prime Minister's Cup. May you enjoy the program, the conversations, and the enjoying refreshments afterwards. God bless and have a wonderful good evening.
Project Coordinator and Liaison of the Prime Minister's Cup 2026, Kimar Hines. Wonderful welcome. Thank you. Next up, to deliver remarks on behalf of the Barbados Football Association is a man who's been a fixture at the helm of local football for over a decade. He is a champion of youth development, and he is the Senior Vice President of the Barbados Football Association. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, please, and welcome Captain Al Walcott.
Good evening, everyone. Honorable Prime Minister, members of Cabinet, distinguished government officials, members of Parliament, representatives of the organizing committee, sponsors, club officials, players, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is indeed a privilege to join you this evening on behalf of the Barbados Football Association for the official launch of the 2026 Prime Minister's Cup. I bring greetings on behalf of our President and the Board of Directors, our General Secretary, and the entire Secretariat of the Barbados Football Association. While both our President and General Secretary are currently overseas on official football business, as you know, the World Cup is going on and the President is a member of the FIFA committee. It is my honor to represent the association on this important occasion. Today marks another significant milestone in the continued growth of football in Barbados. The Prime Minister's Cup has become much more than simply another season football tournament. It represents an investment in our communities, our athletes, and our nation's sporting culture. It provides opportunities for players to remain actively engaged during the off-season, strengthen community spirit, and creates another platform for the showcasing of local football talent. This year, however, we celebrate something even more significant. The introduction of the inaugural Women's Prime Minister's Cup sends a powerful message about the direction in which football in Barbados is moving. It demonstrates a clear commitment to ensuring that our female footballers are afforded the same opportunities to compete, develop, and inspire future generations. At the Barbados Football Association, the development of women's football remains one of our highest strategic priorities. Across the globe, women's football is recognized as the fastest growing sport in the world. The rapid increase in participation, investment, professional opportunities, and international visibility has transformed the landscape of the game in ways that many could scarcely have imagined just a decade ago. Recognizing this tremendous potential, FIFA has issued a clear mandate to all 211 member associations to actively develop and strengthen the women's game. This is not simply an aspiration, it is a global commitment. To support this objective, FIFA has invested considerable resources by providing technical expertise, development programs, funding opportunities, coaching education, grassroots initiatives, and competition support to ensure that women's football continues its remarkable growth across every region of the world. Here in Barbados, we have embraced that mandate wholeheartedly. The Barbados Football Association continues to invest significantly in the development of women's football through expanded youth programs, coach education, referee development, enhanced competitions, national team initiatives, and pathways designed to provide greater opportunities for girls and women to excel both on and off the field. That is why we especially are pleased to see the government of Barbados take this progressive step by introducing a women's competition into the Prime Minister's Cup. This initiative aligns perfectly with the direction in which football is moving globally and reinforces our shared commitment to gender equity and sporting excellence. To the government of Barbados, under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, Mia Moore-Montley, we extend our sincere congratulations and appreciation for recognizing the importance of investing in women's football. This initiative will undoubtedly inspire young girls to dream, participate, and believe that they too have a place within our beautiful game. Partnership remains one of the most important ingredients for sustainable sporting development. When government, national sporting organizations, clubs, sponsors, communities, and private stakeholders work together, we create opportunities that extend well beyond the football field. It is in that spirit that I wish to reaffirm today that the Barbados Football Association stands fully committed to supporting initiatives such as the Prime Minister's Cup. On behalf of our President, the Board of Directors, our General Secretary, and every member of the Secretariat, I wish to assure you, Prime Minister, and the organizing committee that the Barbados Football Association stands ready and willing to assist in whatever capacity is required to ensure the continued success and growth of the tournament. We value this partnership and look forward to working together to elevate this competition year after year. As we prepare for another exciting edition of the Prime Minister's Cup, let us remember that every match played represents more than 90 minutes of football. It represents opportunity, it represents community, it represents national pride, and for many young players, it represents the beginning of dreams that may one day take them into the regional and international stage. I wish every participating club, every player, every coach, every official, and every volunteer a successful and memorable tournament. May this year's competition continue to strengthen our communities, celebrate our football culture, and further advance the development of both men's and women's football throughout Barbados. Thank you, and may God continue to bless Barbados and this nation.
Thank you, Captain Walcott, for your remarks and your prayers and your best wishes for Prime Minister's Cup 2026. This year, we're going to have some innovations. As you know, we want to expand. I'm coming to talk to you about some of those innovations, which include data analytics, stuff to do with stats, to help you become better and coaches to equip themselves to make better decisions using data will be Mr. Ren Ramsey.
Protocols having already been established, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to speak to you today on the innovations for the Prime Minister's Cup for the 2026 edition of the tournament. Football is changing, and so is the way we experience it. The Prime Minister's Cup has always been about showcasing the very best talent in Barbados. This year, we are taking another major step forward by introducing technology and data that will make our competition faster, smarter, and more engaging for everyone. For the first time, we will be delivering live match data and real-time graphics throughout every game. Fans will be able to follow possession, shots, shots on target, crosses, assists, and other key match incidents as they happen, creating a professional broadcast experience unlike anything that we've seen in local football. The exciting part is that this isn't just a concept. We've already tested and refined this system through the Barbados Schools Football League, where our team has spent the past year piloting the technology, training analysts, and building a local workforce capable of delivering world-class football data. The innovation continues after the final whistle. Each team will receive a detailed post-match analytics package to help coaches review performances and prepare more effectively. Our media partners will use the data to enrich media coverage, and every stat will also be available on the Prime Minister's Cup website, giving fans the access to the action long after the game has ended. Most importantly, this information will be shared with our partners at the Barbados Football Association, providing another valuable tool to support of player identification and national team selection. This initiative is not about statistics, it is about bringing together the football community and the digital community to create opportunities, embrace innovation, and use the data to improve the standard of our game. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister's Cup, empowering communities one goal at a time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ren. And as you heard from Mr. Ramsey, this is about making you better, making football, making sports in Barbados a lot better. Because if we don't use data to make our decisions, it takes away from the feelings and emotions when making decisions on the field of play. So we really want for you to equip yourselves with this opportunity. And there will be opportunities for training where you can learn how to use and access this data analytics, which can essentially just make your job a tad bit easier, but equip you to be a modern day coach in this 2026 world. And as Ren said in his speech, this year we're going to add another innovation, which is a website. And to talk to you all about the website is Mr. Andre Wharton. So please put your hands together for Mr. Andre Wharton.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Protocols having been established, it is truly a privilege and an honor to present to you this evening an additional augmentation for the Prime Minister's Cup 2026. We will have live and ready for the first time a dedicated website created and developed by Blackwall Interactive. This web-based app gives us the freedom of access from any of your devices, and you can expect fluidity with each one. Those who wish to take it a step further for user-friendliness can download the app as well and have that readily available on your devices. This website further enhances the fan experience, bringing together all of the key elements of the tournament or tournaments as we welcome our ladies into one space. Sponsors, teams, media, and partners, just to name a few, will have a dedicated space within the website to showcase and or highlight their respective involvement with the Prime Minister's Cup. Starting with our homepage, you immediately see and feel a professionally laid out website which embodies everything Prime Minister's Cup, whilst proudly showcasing Barbadiana through the use of our colors. On any given match night, you'll see right away a live score widget, which once clicked takes you to the match center for that particular game. What makes this site even more fantastic, especially for tournament organizers and match officials, is that it doubles as a database, which allows for storage of key match happenings to supplement what is being done through the statistical package that my colleague Ren mentioned before. What this also does is give fans real-time updates and sequencing of key match facts. Our sponsors, partners, and patron tab allows for immediate brand recognition and association, further underscoring how important their support is to the overall initiative heading into its third year. The Interactive Hub. This gives you a snapshot of what is happening within the heart of the football. You can view the tournament as a whole and go into smaller niche spaces, toggling seamlessly through everything that is offered within the Prime Minister's Cup. Updated tables, upcoming games by groups, and you can even click on your favorite team and be taken to the Tournament Hub for expanded team standings and even individual player landmarks tracking, which would include goals, yards, clean sheets, etc. We have been always highlighting our players of the game after every match, and within this space as well, you will see also a player of the week section to highlight and spotlight our key performers over every match week. This website also includes the Team Hub, and within this Team Hub, the full roster for each team will be uploaded by the managers of the teams, where you can see the full bench, full starting 11, who is on the management team for a particular night. You will see all of that information in that one space. Complementing the Team Hub is the Awards tab, where you can see the Golden Boot race or the Golden Glove race on full before your very eyes. Latest news. This widget allows for curated articles from external and internal sources, or any prompt information that needs dissemination, as we did have some cancellations last year due to adverse weather. That space allows you to see everything that is happening right away that we want you to know of. And then, of course, nothing is complete without our photo gallery. This captures all the moments, the fan excitement, and of course, the overall community empowerment that the PMC has and will continue to have as one of its core pillars. Built with the capacity to withstand an influx of users at any given time, the website will not overload if for any strange reason Wales has been defeated in a game and you want to use the only source to ensure that the information is accurate. You can flood that website for sure and expect clean usability and seeing everything in real time. Thorough, purposeful, professional, and international. A space created by a group of 3 Barbadians. This is the official website of the Prime Minister's Cup, once more developed by Blackwall Interactive. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much to Mr. Andrea Wharton. Outstanding innovation. What a professional outfit. And it just goes to show that a competition like the Prime Minister's Cup does not just develop footballers. It develops a cadre of skills and skill sets across this country. It is opportunity and not just for athletes. So Barbados, keep your eyes open. In a world of influencers, football is the biggest of them all. Now it's time for our fireside chat. What an opportunity for the people in this room and those watching at home. I'd like to invite the Honourable Prime Minister, Mia Mottley. Prime Minister, if you could sit in the middle seat, I think we have that one for you. The Honourable Mia Mottley, Prime Minister of Barbados, will be on the stage. Also, Senator the Honourable Shane Archer, Minister with responsibility for youth and culture. Minister, please take a seat right here on the Prime Minister's right. And I'd also like to welcome the Chairman of the Prime Minister's Cup Organizing Community, who is Omari Eastman, and we're going to have you on the outside, Omari. Okay, they've taken their own order. Prime Minister, close this too. Tahir Bubulia, my co-host, has the honor of hosting this Fireside Chat. So let's give him a round of applause and welcome him on the stage. Tahir.
All right, good afternoon again, everyone. Just for the persons in the middle now, since we are now moved the center point, yeah, so the center point has now moved, so the camera's behind. Thank you so very much, guys. All right, guys, so as you said, we want this tournament to be very innovative, and the launch, as you can see, is very different as well. And this Fireside Chat will go into important parts of the tournament, the past, the legacy of it, and where we are taking it. And I'm honored to be hosting three very special people. And I'm going to start with the Honorable Prime Minister. Oh, my youth before age.
I'm only here as a mascot today.
Okay, so y'all will be scolded if y'all don't fall in line. Omar, I'm going to start with you, my brother. You're critical in the development of football in Barbados. How has the Prime Minister's Cup truly played a part in developing the overall product of football in Barbados, from your perspective?
The Prime Minister's Cup has played in a very critical point and innovation with reference to improving the standard of football in Barbados. It has actually accelerated the development of some clubs with reference to having their aspirations raised, whereby that you can have lower clubs playing higher division clubs, and it actually becomes very competitive. If you look at the past couple of tournaments, you will see some of the lower division clubs actually knocking out some of the Premier League clubs, which made the tournament very exciting. Another innovation of the Prime Minister's Cup, what it does is that it actually helps stabilizes some of the young men in the community, in that persons are happy and feel warm and welcome and want to come and participate. Hereby that we have actually made it mandatory that clubs participate in empowerment sessions, which are carried out by the National Transformation Initiative. And what we have seen as we discuss things like conflict resolution, entrepreneurship, discipline, and time management, which not only helps build footballers, but we're looking at creating a global citizen. So I think those are two things that the Prime Minister's Cup would have benefited right now for development of football in Barbados.
Thank you, Omari. And Senator Archer, I'm going to come to you. You've been here from the inception. I know you hold a higher post. Congratulations to you on your appointment. From your perspective as well, the holistic benefit of Prime Minister's Cup. We hear of these stories of entrepreneurs speaking about how it has benefited them. Young students who are doing these sports science degrees, participating in sports management positions, sports media, creatives. How has this holistic impact, from your perspective, how has that been for you?
Thank you, Tahir. I believe that the Prime Minister's Cup has a full ecosystem, as you just mentioned, from the young professionals that just come and to give back their time, whether it's to take a photo or whether to participate in the setting up of the matches, that really signifies that the give back in this country is working to some extent, and within the Prime Minister's Cup it's clear that it is working. But notwithstanding that, when we speak about the vendors, I remember in the first year, a vendor came to me in about October, when the tournament, 2 months into the tournament, and said, the Prime Minister's Cup allowed me to send to school my children because I had no money when they started. So that speaks volume also to the impact of the Prime Minister's Cup in terms of economic enfranchisement. And then there's obviously the player development that Omari mentioned. A number of our players have been able to go overseas and to train as a result of the Prime Minister's Cup, whether it is in Europe, whether it's in North America, South America, or even here in the Caribbean. We've been able to enfranchise these players and help them to realize their dreams. Pardon? So like Sharon Hoyt, Reese Stephen, the goalkeeper, Ben Everett from last year that won the goalkeeper of the tournament.
Mario Williams.
And we
played in Trinidad. Aragon,
yeah.
Bridgman Seal.
The Women of Wales team as well.
Yes.
It's doing well at
Apple,
yes.
yeah.
And they're going again as well, hopefully, and they're starting further in the competition than they would have started in last year.
Yeah, so it just speaks volume to the impact that the Prime Minister's Cup has had. And then You could go on to the spectators. You see how many people still walk around with the paraphernalia, how many people just can't wait, and every time they see you, I know I experience, I'm sure Omari does, the minister and so on. They say we can't wait till the Prime Minister's Cup comes back around. And the best thing about the Prime Minister's Cup is that we have never had any serious incidents at any of the Prime Minister's Cup, knock on wood. So that also, and we know if there's any violence, what will happen. Both the commissioner and the Prime Minister just reminded me what will happen. So, I mean, the Prime Minister's Cup has been simply amazing so far. So yeah, it has been an ecosystem of impact through various areas in the Barbadian society and economy.
Shane, you're absolutely correct. And when I was doing the player empowerment sessions last year, the vibe on the ground was that eyes are on Barbados football. This is perhaps the most eyes that have been on Barbados football for a very, very long time. And many persons lamented on the fact that Prime Minister's Cup has brought that eyes, and all the games were streamed last year. So Prime Minister, permission to come to you now? When you conceptualized this in your mind, did you think it would have the impact that it has had 3 years in?
Absolutely. Look, I started in opposition a tournament with Randy Harris and a few others. It was called the Pelican Football Tournament. And we had Lime who came on board. And for 3 years we ran a tournament, but we suffered from a lack of capacity to be able to attract scale. Barbados is a small place, and in order to be able to have the private sector take on that responsibility alone, it meant that we needed to either have significantly more sponsorship or alternatively more paying patrons. We kept the price at $10, but we never were able to get sufficient numbers on a consistent basis to justify it. And when the then government gave us difficulties in getting back the National Stadium, it became almost impossible to carry out this tournament at Kensington Oval, because in order to do it in the evenings, we had to start off first looking for $4,900 each game just to pay for the diesel to get the lights going. I understood then that we would continue to play catch up with a population size as small as we have. And that unless you had, as with most sectors in this country, a leveling hand provided by government, we would not be able to see the development of the sport in the way in which we would want. The truth is that I would have liked to have done it in cricket too, but cricket has far more complex prohibitions and rules and much more of a mafia in controlling how it operates. And therefore, we left that one side and came straight to where the people already were with football. I tell you straight. So that after I did it, then David Thompson came along with the constituency tournament. And I realized coming out of COVID that we needed something to be able to unify our young people and to start to build out an ecosystem. But in particular, there were two reasons that we wanted to drive the timing. One, as Shane just said, when I introduced it the first time, we did it from August to November. Why? Because that is one of the slowest quarters of the year for people earning in this country. And if you're not getting from the tourism season and the other levels of earnings that you get in the rest of the year, it meant that invariably there were people who were not earning what they would normally earn, or in some instances completely on layoff. So that the timing of the year is particularly important for us, and starting in August as well would help a few fellas with some back to school money for the children that they got too. Two, that we would want to do it to be able to culminate on independence and the day on which we became a republic. Why? Because those involved in this tournament must never forget the significance of what nationhood means to us. And the combination of the Prime Minister's Cup with the day on which we play the tournament's final is to remind us of the absolute necessity not to forget that we are Bajans and that we constitute the people who make this country look good or look bad. And to that extent, therefore, it is a way of reinforcing patriotism in our people, in terms, especially younger people who would not normally find themselves in that arena. I am happy that in so doing, as in every other sports, that there's an ecosystem, and Alex referred to it just now, that has to support the sport. And to that extent, while the first and sexiest part of it is the players on the field, there can be no successful game without referees and without other match officials. There can be no successful tournament without people cleaning the stadium or the grounds after. There can be no successful tournament without the audience. And we took a conscious decision, particularly coming out of COVID, that Bajans wanted to be outside, and therefore the government, certainly in these initial years, would not seek to charge any money in order to be able to allow the largest congregation of people that we could have, such that the other aspect of the ecosystem, which are the vendors and the suppliers of services, would be able also to make money, because in going in the communities and having it open to all, you create the opportunity for more and more and more people to survive. One of the things that I learned as Minister of Culture and Youth many, many years ago was that you use the opportunity of sports and culture to reinforce life skills, to reinforce citizenship, to reinforce entrepreneurship. Our youngsters are gathering in this space, but this is not the limit of their being, as we know. And therefore, to everyone who can walk away with something more, not just money in the pocket, not just the fame of scoring a goal and people saying, that's my boy, or whatever, but something more. It was important and is important. In the first year, the level of participation was not quite what we wanted from the teams, but the lesson came out, because the one team that came to all of the training was the one team that won the finals and the Prime Minister's Cup at the end of the day. The lesson is you put in, you get back out. The second part of this, which motivated me, we have a problem with substance abuse in this country. And we're going to call it straight for what it is. The Bible tells us that there's a time and place for everything, but we seem to have forgotten that. I worked out that Usain Bolt could not be the fastest man in the world if he was smoking herb and drinking brandy or rum when the day comes. At 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30. It is the same for those of you who want to win. It is not Barbados that set the rules for extra time. That is the nature of the game. It is not Barbados that determined that human beings should have lung capacity. That is the structure of our human body. And if at the end of the day you want to make a career out of this game or any other sport, then you have to treat your body like a temple. I am not telling you that there may not be times when you hold a drink, and certainly that is for those who are over 18. But I am telling you that too much of anything in the wrong place, in the wrong space, will not allow you to reach your optimum potential. And that is why anytime I'm around young people and sports, I remind them of the importance of understanding that balance in life is what saves you. I have seen too many young people in this country abuse their bodies with alcohol and give up the potential that is otherwise theirs. I have seen too many young people as well give up potential with the use of smoking and the extent to which it impairs ultimately their capacity and also their focus. And to that extent, I am saying that all of these mechanisms which we use are intended to be able to help us create an ecosystem that is full of opportunity for young Bajans. But in doing that, we have to ask them to step up to the plate and meet us halfway. One, to be ready to learn from what we put on the table for you in terms of life skills, citizenship, entrepreneurship. Two, to be able to ensure that you treat your body as a temple. Without that, you cannot be the best player and you will not be able to reach where you could otherwise reach, even if you have enough talent. Talent alone does not carry you to the top. There is nobody who can tell you that. And the chairman of the Sports Council is not here, Minister, but you know that you and I have had some conversations. And there is nothing really more for us to be concerned about than finding the space to give those of us who have talent the opportunity to practice, such that in the practice of their skills, they can become almost perfect, if not perfect. And those larger countries that we watch now and revere in the World Cup have only the difference that they have created a space where their athletes are able for a dedicated period of time to do nothing else but practice and do drills that for most people may appear to be monotonous, but become second nature once you have that level of focus and that level of input. So I'll stop here, but that really is the motivation. It is, yes, for the love of the game, but more than that, it is for the love of the people. And you have found a wonderful slogan, empowering each community one goal at a time, but you're empowering each Bajan one goal at a time, because that one goal is responsible for men driving buses, bringing people there. People cooking food and selling there. Other people selling other goods and products at the game, there. The ability for those who provide medical services to be there, because once there is movement, there is likely to be injury at some point, and therefore you need those other people. People who have the capacity to be able to, at the end of the day, also raise their heads above the parapet and say to those globally or regionally that they are worthy of consideration for choice to participate in regional or international practice of the game. And for us, this ability to use my office as a mascot or my body as a mascot is worth it if it means that we bring the attention to our players and to our country for a game that I believe we can go further in. When I come back, I will speak about why women and what for juniors.
Thank you, Prime Minister. You touched on some very important points there. Shane, I'm going to go to you now. As Minister of Youth, where you sit now, how important is it to get more young people? And you just heard the Prime Minister mention about Junior Prime Minister's Cup and Women's Prime Minister's Cup, which is coming on stream this year. But how important is it to get more young people involved in sports and other wholesome activities from where you sit now as Minister of Youth and Culture?
It is important for young persons to be involved, not only, as you said, in sporting activities, but we are encouraging all young persons to take part in some type of extracurricular activity, even if that's playing the steel pan, playing cricket, whatever it is, to get involved in some type of activity. But in the zone into the Prime Minister's Cup and why it is important to have young persons involved, look, we made the decision after the first year to then create a rule where each team has a stipulation as to how many young people it can field each game. And purposely so. If we are going to invest the amount of money that we are going to invest in, we have to make sure that the young people are involved. Only today, I had a meeting with some persons over potentially some stuff that they want to do in Barbados, a major football team, and they want to do a summer camp here in Barbados. And over the last few years, they were able to take some Barbadians overseas. So that, and when they say Barbadians, I mean persons under the age of 18, 19. So that showcases that the young persons are the ones that are leading the charge in football. We saw last year young Jamarco who won the young player of the year, and he is excelling well, and he is one to look out for in the Prime Minister's Cup this year. Then you have persons that have never even played in the Prime Minister's Cup that are coming back home to play in the Prime Minister's Cup, because young persons, because they see that the Prime Minister's Cup can be that platform that takes them to the next level. So I believe that it has showcased in the past, over the last few years, that we do want to have an impact on young people. And when he want to play football too. And you see with the Boyko finals last week, and we saw a 13-year-old refereeing that match. It just shows that football is played in every single community in Barbados. When you're playing football, to play against the cans, to score against the cans, to score against the cones, to play barefoot, to play with boots, to play however. Football is played all over Barbados. And the more that we could encourage those youngsters to come out and do something positive with their lives, I think the better we are.
Thank you, Senator Archer. Omari, I'm going to jump to you now. Women's football this year, that's a big thing, a big opportunity. For the last 2 years, a lot of women have been asking for it. I know we thank the Prime Minister for approving that as well. Omari, how do you envision Women's Prime Minister's Cup on the development of football in Barbados and women's football on a whole as well?
Thanks for asking me that, Tahir. But the Prime Minister would have spoken about repetition all the time. If you want to get better, you need to play more. The women usually do not play more. So the female Prime Minister's Cup give them an opportunity and a platform that they can play more, and also put them on the stage that they can be seen. Why I say that? I personally have persons reaching me from Antigua, St. Kitts. Trinidad has a professional football league reaching out to me asking, how can I be a part of the Prime Minister's Cup? Referees from CONCACAF that referee at the Gold Cup want to know, how can I be part of the Prime Minister's Cup? How can I referee? So it shows the distance where the Prime Minister's Cup is going. Now, if we could get that with the females, to put them on that platform and give them that opportunity, it tells us where we could go. And then others, seeing what is happening with the female football, are inclined to come and participate even further. We have a lot of school children interested in football. Recently, we have the futsal competition. Minister here was at the gymnasium. A lot of young children. So the interest is there. Is now to gather pace. We make sure that we communicate it well, and that will more than likely push the female football in a greater direction where we want, and consistently so.
Thank you, Omari. And Prime Minister, I'm going to come back to you because we have to open up for question and answers as well from the audience and the media. You spoke about Women's Prime Minister's Cup and Junior Prime Minister's Cup, perhaps a Prime Minister's Cup Olympics in the future.
Not quite. But let me get a few things straight. And Minister Archer is smiling because he knows where I'm going. To refer to the Prime Minister's Cup and then to refer to the Women's Prime Minister's Cup is to assume that the Prime Minister's Cup is only for men. So let us correct that straight off. It is the Prime Minister's Cup, as this cup says. If you want to refer to the women playing, it is for women. If you want to refer to the men playing, it is for men. But the Prime Minister's Cup is gender neutral. Thank you. Having said that now, as Omar correctly said, and I'm not sure, Al, it was you who said it earlier, that women's football is growing at a faster rate than almost any other participation in sport globally. I had the opportunity, my very, very first day of being in office as Prime Minister in 2018, on May the 28th, I met with the then Secretary General of FIFA, who was a lady, she's no longer there with us, but who was a good friend to Barbados, Fatma Samora. And I promised then, from May 28, 2018, that we would find a way to be able to develop two other aspects of football in Barbados. I'm taking it in steps. The first one was the women's game. And then the second one was the beach game. a country that is an island cannot not master beach football in the world. And we have to be able to create a special niche for us that will allow us to be able to excel there in the future. But before we got there, we wanted to bring on board the women. And that is why Shane would tell you that when they came to me and said that the Prime Minister's Cup for men would get $100,000 and the Prime Minister's Cup for women would get $50,000 because there are less teams, I asked him which part of Barbados he live in. Because this Prime Minister will not practice gender discrimination, and therefore the women will benefit from the same trophy of $100,000 prize as the men. Secondly, I indicated that now is the opportunity to be able to fuel development at the community level. When he spoke to me 6 weeks ago, he had 6 teams. Today, you have
8 and potentially 10.
And I expect that before we start, we will have at least the 10, but I am issuing a challenge to the women of Barbados and to the girls of Barbados. Don't let the men say that we can even make half the number of teams that they had. So the men have 24 teams. Let us try to get to the 12. We also agreed that we're not playing 7-a-side for the women's. It has to be proper full football because I look forward to the day of Barbados women playing in World Cup. The men tell me that they can get there before the women, but I am so sure the women might actually come and get there before the men. So I put the two of you against each other now to see who will carry Barbados' name forward fastest and quickest. As it relates to the juniors, Shane correctly said, look, if we don't have more young people coming on and training from early, then we can't get them in the practice, we can't get them the opportunities, etc. And I want to thank my close protection officer, Sergeant Price, for insisting that I come a few Saturdays ago to the Usain Bolt tournament when the youngsters were playing. And these youngsters, particularly the ones under 13, impressed upon me the urgent need for them to be given opportunities. I have left there and I've said to the clubs, come back to us with a proposal. Clearly, it won't be the same terms and conditions as the adults, but we are going to ensure that there is a junior tournament that also finishes in the month of November, because the best thing to do is to give people opportunity and then possibilities that they can see ahead of them. So if we have the young kids playing and finishing 2 weeks before the major Prime Minister's Cup tournament, then Barbados is going to, over time, develop an affinity with football that may come to rival our affinity with cricket. Although I am insistent, and Minister Griffith is here and he knows that we continue to push hard the T20 block tournament with the help of Courtney Brown and others, because this is the mechanism by which we can identify talent and then really go after some of that talent to get them into mainstream cricket as well, so that they can be part and parcel of an ecosystem. People must not be daunted by the fact that they do not feel that Bajans are in the West Indies team in a fair way anymore. Because Bajans are playing for England, Bajans are playing for Canada, Bajans are playing for the USA, and I have no doubt that Bajans will eventually play for every one of the other cricketing teams, because that is the passion and the capacity that we have. I simply say, however, that I want our young people to recognize that we will give you an opportunity in sports. Sports and culture create global citizens. Nobody don't ask you about no visa if you're the best in your sport. They tell come. In fact, they don't tell come. They tell come and take my passport and pay for me. And you have seen that World Cup football, team by team by team by team. So that if Barbados can excel in creating opportunities within sports, yes, football, because it's the most popular sport in the world, But yes, cricket, because we are among the best in the world, and we must never forget that. And yes, in terms of arts, because as Rihanna has shown us, that is a platform, and she has made her mark not in music, but in business globally. And she has carried with her the Bajan spirit, which says fairness and inclusivity. And that is how she has literally seen her brands mash up other established brands in makeup that only catered to certain tones before, when she has come and catered to every single skin color and tone color that there is. And mashed up people in lingerie who were only catering for Coke bottle figures before. And she has come and said, no, I see you, I'm making for you, look good, feel good, and make Fenty your choice for lingerie. And the world has done that. I say to you, therefore, as young people in this country, use the opportunities. Use the opportunities. There are other countries in this region and across the world who would love to have the opportunity to be able to have the kind of support either from their national football associations or governments to be able to create that platform that others can celebrate you and see you. I want to make the other point about officials. Whether in cricket or football, Bajans, because of our level of investment in people development, have a unique opportunity to be a key player and mover in the ecosystem of either administration or officialdom, or in the case, Neil, with you, with dealing with the drug testing and making sure the other aspects of the sports that are necessary for a level playing field, that we can play that part. Because in every instance, as we are seeing now, sports is one of the biggest economic drivers in today's world. And we would be foolish not to grasp it with all hands and to ensure that our talent can be the best that they can be. But as much as I want it and the rest of us up here want it, if you're doing that and you're smoking a spliff and you can't do what you're supposed to do, you ain't gonna get where you're supposed to get. Or you're drinking a liquor too much and doing foolishness, you ain't gonna get where you're supposed to get. Or you're picking up weapons and using weapons in a way that put you in the hands of the commissioner or other police here, you ain't gonna get where you're supposed to get. So let us understand that while we are going to carry weight for you, you got to do what? Carry weight also to meet us halfway. And if we do that, then I have every confidence that year by year, instead of talking about 8 or 10 or 12 people that have become the subject of possibilities regionally and internationally, that people will ask the question, how did Barbados become such a powerhouse in football? I thought they used to do cricket. Well, we will show them that we are two legs. We can do cricket, we can do football, and take care we don't do basketball too.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
And Commissioner, let me on this day that you have been officially sworn into your job, express to you and my friend, the President of the Police Association, who is hiding behind there, Mr. Carter, they thank you for ensuring that among the women's football teams this year will be a women's police team. Thank you.
That's truly amazing, and that's why we were intentional. Omari, Shane, you will know when we were coming up with the women's football that we did a call to action for persons who may have hung up their boots because they didn't have the opportunity, but they had the love when they were going to school to come back out and join the team. So you may not be a part of a club right now, but you could come and join and play in the Prime Minister's Cup. So that is...
But not only those, but the young girls that are in secondary school, yes, and so on, and tertiary education, and the young ones are really interested in football. Not only the past, but also the ones that want to get into football. Is a call to action to them too.
Absolutely. So a call to action for all females and all footballers out there to come out and participate. The Prime Minister's Cup is for you. So at this point in time, I'm going to open up to, first of all, the media. For any questions that you may have, please say which media house you are from, and then state your name, and then you can ask your question, who your question may be directed to, and then we will open up to the audience thereafter. Any questions?
In the absence of questions, I'd like to ask the Minister to address us on the readiness of the dedicated football fields and where he is and where we're going. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. As promised last year, we would have 12 dedicated football fields because of the Prime Minister's Cup. At present, we have Blades Hill that is ready, Parishland that is ready, Checker Hall that is ready, Spitestone that is ready, Hilda Scheme is also ready. Belle Plaine, we are doing some work to make sure that that is also coming on stream. Sweet Vale, we need to put lights at that particular location, but we're steadily identifying grounds that will become dedicated football fields, not only for the Prime Minister's Cup, but because of the issue that we're having with cricket, these particular fields will now be fully football fields, including the YMCA that we're hoping Prime Minister will also act as a dedicated field for female football.
Thank you, Minister Griffith. So, no questions from the media? Any questions from the audience? I think pretty much everything has been clear. I think everyone is happy. So write your reports very well. I know the media, you will be happy in the morning to hear about the Women's Prime Minister's Cup and the prize money coming with it and all about the development and the innovations coming this year. So ladies and gentlemen, we have a question. Yes. So can you pass her a mic, Omar?
Hi, my name is Astra Bab. I'm not officially representing a media company, but I just wanted to know, when is the official deadline for the teams to be registered for women and men?
So, for the men, the rules are already in place. We would have contacted most of the clubs that are actually in the competition. The BFA competition is still ongoing, so some teams have not qualified yet for the Prime Minister's Cup. For the women, we are doing a draft because, as Senator Archer would have mentioned, some females are not attached to any clubs, so we ought to give them the opportunity that they could join a club and be able to train in an adequate time to give themselves the best opportunity to make the team. So what we're going to do, because it's crop over season, we have delayed or postponed the draft. We're going to do a draft for women only. So as soon as crop over ends, we're going to open the draft. It's going to be communicated on our social media, our new website, and we're going to put in all of our strategic partners.
And app. Website and app.
And app. So what that does, it gives us the chance to have the draft, and then from a physiological background, you have enough time to prepare efficiently to get match fit. So any team that's here would know that you need at least a minimum of 6 to 8 weeks to try to get the body in a state where the Prime Minister spoke about lung capacity, especially that they're going 90 minutes and sometimes beyond. So we're going to do a draft the second week of August because there are less teams in the women as compared to the men, so that competition starts later than the men. Covered, Astra? Sorted?
Omar, just for clarity, just explain the qualification process for the men as well.
So for the men, all the teams that participate in the BFA Premier League qualify automatically for the Prime Minister's Cup. The first 8 out of 18 teams in first division qualify, and then 6 out of 32 of the second division qualify. Making 24. Yeah. So the men, 24 for the men, and there's no limit for the women yet. We're looking for 40, Prime Minister's 12, but we're looking for 14. So no limit yet.
If we get 40, it'd be better then. But let me also remind us that, and most people take this for granted, the players are paid for every game. And we did that because you take for granted what the difference that piece of change makes to being able to buy food for a child, or to be able to help a parent, or to be able to help a grandmother. And therefore, we are not and do not have the population size in Barbados for us to go full professional, but we felt that this semi-professional approach will also help a lot of our people to be able to see their way through those difficult quarters. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon. Wendy Carroll from the police. My first thing will say, Senator Archer, I speak from a police point of view, he mentioned that during the tournament there was no serious incidents. last year, but during the tournament, there was no incidents.
No
incidents. There was no incidents.
I was about to tell him so.
Yeah,
But I want you to remind them that the rule still applies in year 3.
Yeah, the rule still applies because I worked some of the tournaments and at Hostel Turning, they had mass amount of people and they were well behaved, and I hope it continue. And with the new commissioner, I know we done do a little better than we do last year. And I'm not speaking for the commissioner, but we done give all support. And relative to the women's team, I don't want you all to feel that the women's team was recommended because we got a new commissioner. The women's team was put forward, and it coincided with the new commissioner, and I thank the Prime Minister, and we want to make our new commissioner proud, and it'd be a surprise. Or we also including police team, members of the Barbados Defense Force, and the Barbados Fire Service. Brilliant. We ain't name it the Protected Service Team yet because we holding it as the Barbados Police Women's Team, and I want to thank the BFA for allowing the team to play in this year's tournament. And we knew, but we protecting Barbados and we done do our service to the nation to make the women's team, and also the Prime Minister Cup. But the Prime Minister is not agenda best, but we done support the Prime Minister Cup as service and also in the team. So I want to thank Prime Minister, Mr. Archer, and Mr. Eastman, the BFA and the Sports Council for allowing the Barbados Police Service women to be part of this historic tournament in our historic year with our first female commissioner. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Trevor Thorne from Commentator Sports Incorporated. Could you give us the official kickoff dates for both men and women tournaments?
The men is kicking off the 4th of September, God willing. And for the female, because we have not finalized the fixtures yet for the female, basically we don't have the amount of teams yet. We are looking at the first week of October though. So right now we have, as the Prime Minister said, we have 10 teams that we'd have done is a draft with reference to a fixture draft that would take us to the end of November, because the idea is to play the finals of the female on the same night as the finals of the men. So once it becomes clearer that we have defined with the amount of female teams that we have, but then they'll be able to come back to you and give you a start date.
All right, thank you.
What I also want to say, Trevor, now we're here, is that the organizing committee would have put on 2 workshops with reference to the clubs participating to get the affairs in order. Most clubs have come on board with reference to getting Business Barbados on board and getting the documents and then having their bank account sorted out. So I'm encouraging here now those clubs who know that they may be participating. If they are not in order, I just want to ensure and enforce that we hope that, as you can see how professional we are going, each year we are improving, and that comes when kickoff time, that your club accounts are in order. If you need any help, I am here to guide you with reference to the specific process that is needed.
Thank you for the questions, Trevor, and also to Prime Minister's Cup starting September 4th. Remember, there's CPL in Barbados around that time. The CPL final will be in Barbados, so we don't want to clash. Match nights will not be on CPL nights. So we've made that abundantly clear that we will want people to go to the CPL since that's a big investment from the government, so they go and support the Barbados Tridents this year.
This question is directed to either Omari or to PM Motley. Are you in a position to give us any adequate data on the direct or indirect spend of the Prime Minister's Cup to the Barbados economy?
Yeah, nobody has done an economic analysis yet, Peter. But certainly that can be something that we can look forward to doing because, as I said, I know whenever I go on Huddersfield Turning Ground in my constituency and you see thousands of people there, you see the spend, but nobody has accurately covered it. The cup, the tournament last year cost us 1.9 million, and the majority of that would have gone in the hands of the players and the different supporting staff, etc., who helped make the events possible. But we can look at certainly, Shane, doing an economic impact assessment study We have to update the one for crop over as well, so we can look at that as well.
Incidentally, Prime Minister, I spoke to Andrew.
Sorry, the budget this year will be more, obviously, because of the inclusion of the women. How much is the budget? I'm being told that the budget is in the vicinity of 2.4 million for this year, but remember, we're bringing the women on, and they too will be played for every game, as well as earn the same $100,000 as the men. And the other second, third, and fourth prizes as well will be the same. Shane is reminding me as well that in the program, because of the development aspect and thrust of the tournament, we give $10,000 to each club to also help them participate and get themselves ready together. So there really is a serious ecosystem that is being put in place. When you plant seeds, it takes how long for the corn to come? All right.
Incidentally, this week I was speaking to Mr. Wharton, Andrea, about that, about the economic analysis, and Dr. Aline from the Faculty of Sport is here as well. So that's something perhaps, Shane, we can look into partnering with UE Academy of Sport to look at that spend and that economic activity that comes out of it. And that's the data that we need, not just the data on the footballers, but the economy of sports, which is contributing immensely to the development of our country. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for... Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening and participating this afternoon. It was a very enriching conversation. We certainly enjoyed it. If you liked the conversation, please share your comments online and what's not. Prime Minister's Cup, follow us on social media. This year, 60 years of independence, 5 years as a republic, and 3 years of Prime Minister's Cup. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and we really want for you to enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to ask the head party here just to stand for a photo shoot, and I'm going to ask Minister Griffith as well to come in for the photo op, and Alex as well. So thank you. Give your panel a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you to the honorable panel and to Tahir Bulbulia, enriching indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, when you get to my age, you start to recognize history in real time. And before all of this chat here, I was thinking, wow, there is a woman who is my police commissioner. I wanted to recognize her and tell her how overwhelmed I am. The young people will become blasé because we have women leaders now. We have women in male-dominated areas. But I grew up at a time when we did not, and representation really matters, and it is an honor to see you here, Commissioner of Police Sonia Boyce. The Prime Minister bowled a lot of quick ones to Tahir, boy. Huh? Bowled a lot of quick ones to you. I was happy to see you leaving them, letting them go outside off. But one of the things the Prime Minister said I don't want you all to miss was that she wants everyone to walk away with something more. And I feel that it would be remiss of me not to mention the NTI here, the National Transformation Initiative, a free service to Barbadians. The NTI actually helped train in mindset and in thinking this same competition, Prime Minister's Cup last year, and I'm sure we'll be involved again this year. But it is free to all Barbadians. Log on, nti.org.bb. You can upskill, you can take a course in your own time, and it is free. Again, not to keep bringing up age. In my time, you pay thousands of dollars for that opportunity, and your government provides it for you. nti.org.bb. To be a really good athlete, You have to be a well-rounded human being, and there's great opportunity online. All right, the last thing, to deliver our vote of thanks. I'm so happy to welcome on stage a lovely young man. He's also been a beneficiary of this Prime Minister's Cup. He's a young journalist by the name of Timothy Thompson. Can I get some silence for him? Ladies and gentlemen, don't make me bring my big voice out here. Don't make me bring my Prime Minister's voice out here, please. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if we can have some silence. I've got a young journalist coming on stage to deliver the vote of thanks. I would be grateful if you could give him your attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage to deliver our vote of thanks, Mr. Timothy Thompson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we bring this memorable occasion to a close, it's my distinct honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee, who I must also thank for giving me the opportunity to showcase my talent as a young sports journalist for the past 2 editions of the tournament. First and foremost, we express our deepest gratitude to the Honorable Prime Minister, Mia Motley, for her leadership, unwavering commitment to the development of youth and football in Barbados. The tournament is more than a competition. It's an investment in our communities, our youth, and the future of sport.
I've asked him to stop because I really want to talk to us and with us. We can't be serious about setting a tone for a Prime Minister's Cup, and at the launch we do not accord this young boy with the respect that he deserves to be heard in silence. You gave me that honor. You gave the minister that honor. You gave Amari that honor. You gave Al from the BFA that honor. I ask us to apply our hearts to wisdom and to be gracious, because at the end of the day, without grace, we have nothing. Thank you.
Thank you. We will also like to express sincere appreciation for the minister responsible for sport, the Ministry of Youth, Sport and Community Empowerment, the National Sports Council, the Barbados Football Association, and every government agency and stakeholder whose collaboration has made today's launch possible. To our valued sponsors and corporate partners, thank you for investing in this initiative. Your support goes far beyond financial contributions. You're helping to create opportunities, build communities, and inspire the next generation of footballers. We are truly grateful for your confidence in this competition. To the organizing committee, coordinators, volunteers, technical officials, referees, medical personnel, media partners, security services, and everyone working tirelessly behind the scenes, thank you for your professionalism, dedication, and commitment to excellence. Events such as these are only as successful as your efforts. To our clubs, managers, coaches, and technical staff, thank you for your countless hours you dedicate to developing players and instilling discipline and promoting values of teamwork, respect, and perseverance. Your leadership shapes not only better footballers, but better citizens. To the players, you are the heartbeat of this competition. Thank you for your commitment, your passion, and your love for the beautiful game we call football. We encourage you to compete with integrity, respect your opponents and officials, and make this tournament a celebration of sportsmanship and excellence. To our supporters, families, schools, communities, and football fans all across Barbados, thank you for your enthusiasm and encouragement. Your presence and support create the atmosphere that makes football such a powerful force of unity. Finally, to everyone who joined us this evening, whether in person or through media, we would like to thank you for participating in this historic launch. Your presence has made this occasion more meaningful. As the Prime Minister's Cup begins, let us not only celebrate goals that are scored, but the friendships that will be built, the talent that will be discovered, and the positive impact this tournament will have throughout Barbados by empowering communities one goal at a time. Thank you all for your attendance, your partnership, and your continued support. May God bless you all, bless our players, officials with safe and a successful tournament, and continue to bless Barbados. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much to Timothy Thompson, beautifully delivered. And thank you to you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention. It only took the Prime Minister. Now we're going to have a drink. That's it. Thank you so much for attending. We look forward to seeing the coverage in the press and to a very successful Prime Minister's Cup 2026. We hope you'll hang around and have a chat and have a drink. Thanks again.
My name is Jamarco Johnson. I am a 16-year-old striker for Kickstart Rush, and we are playing in the Prime Minister Cup this year. I became involved in the Prime Minister Cup after joining Kickstart and playing youth football, and then getting promoted to the senior team. Played a couple Premier League games, was the youngest goal scorer in the Premier League. Prime Minister Cup came around, got a couple games, a couple minutes in, probably like 3 or 4 games. Last year, Prime Minister Cup was the starting striker. Had the most goals for the team, 5 goals, winning the Young Player of the tournament. I've been apart for 2 years, on to 3 years now. Prime Minister Cup matters to me because it's one of the only tournaments that has a professional environment, like in terms of being paid to play, and the incentive is just make the football way more competitive and better, and just motivate players to come out and motivate fans to come and support, and just make the football and the community much better and more organized and just a better overall experience. I would say Prime Minister Cup had a great impact on communities, bringing both youth and the older ages together to both play and support football in Barbados, and it brings a great joy to be outside playing, enjoying, watching, and supporting the beautiful game.
I am Shanice Brewster Charles, brand manager of Dasani and Powerade at the Barbados Bottling Company. Our connection to the Prime Minister's Cup is through our partnership as the official hydration partner of the tournament. Our journey with the Prime Minister's Cup began from the very first tournament. When the vision and the purpose of the tournament were shared with us, we saw an opportunity to support an initiative with strong national relevance, deep community value, and the power to inspire both players and supporters. The Prime Minister's Cup matters because it reflects the best of sport and community. It gives footballers a stage to compete, supporters a reason to rally behind their teams, and communities a moment to come together in celebration. The Prime Minister's Cup energizes communities and shows young people that sport can be a pathway for growth, discipline, teamwork, and achievement. It also gives players the chance to earn money through their talent, while bringing Barbadians together in a shared moment of national pride. This year, we are especially excited about the introduction of the female tournament, which creates greater opportunity and visibility for all.
My name is Sharon Hoy. I'm a striker for Paradise FC in the Prime Minister Cup. 2024, when the Prime Minister Cup first came about, I was representing Barbados FC, and I got to the final on my first year. 2025, the second year of the Cup, I was at Paradise FC. We came third. I finished with the most goals in the tournament and best striker, and I won 4 out of 7 Man of the Match awards and 1 Goal of the Match award. The Prime Minister Cup, I think it matters to me because it's a semi-professional tournament. You're actually getting paid to play football. The fans could come and watch for free, and there's special awards to be won, like Man of the Match and other individual awards. So I think that the Prime Minister Cup being a semi-professional tournament actually bring more excitement and more enjoyment and more motivation to players. In 2025, they had a lot of violence throughout the year, but There was no violence at the tournaments, because everybody was able to come together as one and just enjoy the football.
Hi, my name is Julia Harewood. I am one of the vendors for the Prime Minister's Cup, and I'm also a villa chef at Young Estate. I am the owner of R&J's Catering, located in Marchfield, St. Philip. We love being with the Prime Minister's Cup because it's a very nice atmosphere. This year is going to be 3 years, but I was with them before it was called the Prime Minister Cup, so you know how long that is. Please do not calculate my age, but it brings everybody together. And it also gives the communities a lot of extra space, whereas they can evolve around what is going on and there is no kind of violence or whatever. Everybody's enjoying themselves, everybody have different opinions, and they just love to come and sit and watch their team do the best that they can.
Hey everyone, I'm Nathan McCollin, and this will be my first time actually participating in the Prime Minister Cup. I didn't get the chance to participate in the previous Prime Minister Cup because I was overseas playing soccer and studying. I'm excited to be part of it. The Prime Minister Cup is a great opportunity for our players to come together with their communities and show what we can do. For me personally, the Prime Minister Cup does matter because I'm hoping that while participating in such a tournament like this, that it can take me one step closer to my dream, which is representing Barbados at the national level. Football has opened so many doors for me, and I hope that the Prime Minister Cup continues to open so many doors for the young players across Barbados as well, and I'm so excited to be part of it. Thank you.
My name is Thielen Bradford, well known as T.I. or Mr. Armani. And I'm one of the biggest Prime Minister Cup fans. I was born playing football. My connection with the Prime Minister Cup is that I love football, and I didn't hear from the time it was the Line Pelican till now. And it's just the best football in Barbados right now. You get you to meet back up with your old friends that you can know meet. It's just a good vibe whenever you go to the Prime Minister Cup. It's having a good effect on the youth, and more youth need to join more teams and make it better for years to come.
My name is Jamarco Johnson. I am a 16-year-old striker for Kickstart Rush, and we are playing in the Prime Minister Cup this year. I became involved in the Prime Minister Cup after joining Kickstart and playing youth football, and then getting promoted to the senior team. Played a couple Premier League games, was the youngest goal scorer in the Premier League. Prime Minister Cup came around, got a couple games, a couple minutes in, probably like 3 or 4 games. Last year, Prime Minister Cup was the starting striker. I had the most goals for the team, 5 goals, winning the Young Player of the Tournament. I've been apart for two years, on to 3 years now. Prime Minister Cup matters to me because it's one of the only tournaments that has a professional environment, like in terms of being paid to play, and the incentive is just make the football way more competitive and better, and just motivate players to come out and motivate fans to come and support, and just make the football and the community much better and more organized and just a better overall experience. I would say Prime Minister Cup had a great impact on communities, bringing both youth and the older ages together to both play and support football in Barbados, and it brings a great joy to be outside playing, enjoying, watching and supporting the beautiful game.
I am Shanice Brewster Charles, brand manager of Dasani and Powerade at the Barbados Bottling Company. Our connection to the Prime Minister's Cup is through our partnership as the official hydration partner of the tournament. Our journey with the Prime Minister's Cup began from the very first tournament. When the vision and the purpose of the tournament were shared with us, we saw an opportunity to support an initiative with strong national relevance, deep community value, and the power to inspire both players and supporters. The Prime Minister's Cup matters because it reflects the best of sport and community. It gives footballers a stage to compete, supporters a reason to rally behind their teams, and communities a moment to come together in celebration. The Prime Minister's Cup energizes communities and shows young people that sport can be a pathway for growth, discipline, teamwork, and achievement. It also gives players the chance to earn money through their talent while bringing Barbadians together in a shared moment of national pride. This year, we are especially excited about the introduction of the female tournament, which creates greater opportunity and visibility for all.
My name is Sharon Hoy. I'm a striker for Paradise FC in the Prime Minister Cup. 2024, when the Prime Minister Cup first came about, I was representing Barbados FC, and I got to the final on my first year. 2025, the second year of the cup, I was at Paradise FC. We came third. I finished with the most goals in the tournament and best striker, and I won 4 out of 7 Man of the Match awards and 1 Goal of the Match award. The Prime Minister Cup, I think it matters to me because it's a semi-professional tournament. You're actually getting paid to play football. The fans could come and watch for free, and there's special awards to be won, like Man of the Match and other individual awards. So I think that the Prime Minister Cup being a semi-professional tournament actually bring more excitement and more enjoyment and more motivation to players. In 2025, they had a lot of violence throughout the year, but there was no violence at the tournaments because everybody was able to come together as one and just enjoy the football.
Hi, my name is Julia Harewood. I am one of the vendors for the Prime Minister's Cup, and I'm also a villa chef at Young Estate. I am the owner of R&J's Catering, located in Marchfield, St. Philip. We love being with the Prime Minister's Cup because it's a very nice atmosphere. This year is going to be 3 years, but I was with them before it was called the Prime Minister Cup, so you know how long that is. Please do not calculate my age. But it brings everybody together, and it also gives the communities a lot of extra space, whereas they can evolve around what is going on, and there is no kind of violence or whatever. Everybody's enjoying themselves. Everybody have different opinions, and they just love to come and sit and watch their team do the best that they can.
Hey everyone, I'm Nathan McCollin, and this will be my first time actually participating in the Prime Minister Cup. I didn't get the chance to participate in the previous Prime Minister Cup because I was overseas playing soccer and studying. I'm excited to be part of it. The Prime Minister Cup is a great opportunity for our players to come together with their communities and show what we can do. For me personally, the Prime Minister Cup does matter because I'm hoping that while participating in such a tournament like this, that it can take me one step closer to my dream, which is representing Barbados at the national level. Football has opened so many doors for me, and I hope that the Prime Minister Cup continues to open so many doors for the young players across Barbados as well, and I'm so excited to be part of it. Thank you.
My name is Thielen Braffett, well known as T.I. or Mr. Armani. and I'm one of the biggest Prime Minister Cup fans. I was born playing football. My connection with the Prime Minister Cup is that I love football, and I didn't hear from the time it was the Line Pelican to now. And it's just the best football in Barbados right now. It's get you to meet back up with your old friends that you're gonna know meet. It's just a good vibe whenever you go to the Prime Minister Cup. It's having a good effect on the youth, and more youth need to join more teams and make it better for years to come.
My name is Jamarco Johnson. I am a 16-year-old striker for Kickstart Rush, and we are playing in the Prime Minister Cup this year. I became involved in the Prime Minister Cup after joining Kickstart and playing youth football. I then getting promoted to the senior team. Played a couple Premier League games, was the youngest goal scorer in the Premier League. Prime Minister Cup came around, got a couple games, couple minutes in, probably like 3 or 4 games. Last year, Prime Minister Cup was the starting striker. I had the most goals for the team, 5 goals, winning the Young Player of the tournament. I've been apart for two years, on to 3 years now. Prime Minister Cup matters to me because it's one of the only tournaments that has a professional environment, like in terms of being paid to play, and the incentive is just make the football way more competitive and better, and just motivate players to come out and motivate fans to come and support, and just make the football and the community much better and more organized and just a better overall experience. I would say Prime Minister Cup had a great impact on communities, bringing both youth and the older ages together to both play and support football in Barbados, and it brings a great joy to be outside playing, enjoying, watching and supporting the beautiful game.
I am Shanice Brewster Charles, brand manager of Dasani and Powerade at the Barbados Bottling Company. Our connection to the Prime Minister's Cup is through our partnership as the official hydration partner of the tournament. Our journey with the Prime Minister's Cup began from the very first tournament. When the vision and the purpose of the tournament were shared with us, we saw an opportunity to support an initiative with strong national relevance, deep community value, and the power to inspire both players and supporters. The Prime Minister's Cup matters because it reflects the best of sport and community. It gives footballers a stage to compete, supporters a reason to rally behind their teams, and communities a moment to come together in celebration. The Prime Minister's Cup energizes communities and shows young people that sport can be a pathway for growth, discipline, teamwork, and achievement. It also gives players the chance to earn money through their talent, while bringing Barbadians together in a shared moment of national pride. This year, we are especially excited about the introduction of the female tournament, which creates greater opportunity and visibility for all.
My name is Sharon Hoy. I'm a striker for Paradise FC in the Prime Minister Cup. 2024, when the Prime Minister Cup first came about, I was representing Barbados FC, and I got to the final on my first year. 2025, the second year of the Cup, I was at Paradise FC. We came third. I finished with the most goals in the tournament and best striker, and I won 4 out of 7 Man of the Match awards and 1 Goal of the Match award. The Prime Minister Cup, I think it matters to me because it's a semi-professional tournament. You're actually getting paid to play football. The fans could come and watch for free, and there's special awards to be won, like Man of the Match and other individual awards. So I think that the Prime Minister Cup being a semi-professional tournament actually bring more excitement and more enjoyment and more motivation to players. In 2025, they had a lot of violence throughout the year, but there was no violence at the tournaments because everybody was able to come together as one and just enjoy the football.